Today we have the women's Jordan 1 Travis Scott Olive. All right, I stacked them up so you can get a better look. This is the one that started off on the left. This is the one that started off on the right. If you haven't guessed yet, you know what? Let's not tell you. Let's go ahead with the review and point out some of the differences. So the main thing that I'm sure you can see is that the swooshes are different color green. So on this one, you have a swoosh with some soft material where you can see my finger marks in it as I brush against the material. And this one, you have soft material also, but it does not readily show the marks as I brush my fingers against it. I will bring it closer so you can see what I'm saying. See that? On that one. And then on this one. Rep left, retail right. All right. Stitching here is what we're looking at. So this is the retail pair. I'll bring it a little closer and hopefully you can see it. The stitching is really tight. Almost looks like it's a little messy in comparison to what's here. That stitching is really tight, but you can see the stitching a little bit more in detail, if that makes sense. While we have it this close, midsole color looks good on these, as well as the color of the sole. I will go ahead and show you that while I have it close. Rep is left, retail is right. If you take a look at the retail pair, which is this one, I'll bring it a little closer to the camera. The Cactus Jack, the 3 lines above the C, one of them touches with the border edge of the tongue material. On the replica pair, there is space on the border edge of the tongue material. Outside of that, it looks like they did a pretty good job. Again, rep is left, retail is right. So this is the inside of the tongue tag. So on the left, you can see that all of the text at the top, it's a little bit smaller and the font is different than all the text at the right. It also looks like it isn't sewn on, it's straight. The Made in China on the retail pair to the right is a bolder font, so a little thicker than the font on the left. All right, shoe trees, rep left, retail right. What's crazy is that the rep shoe tree looks like it's actually got cleaner stamps. On the retail shoe tree right here, in the inside it says die cut sock liner, and you can kind of see that bleeding through the outside. Thickness wise, they both feel to be the same thickness. They both say the same thing in there. It's just the retail pair just looks a little less clean. Here are the insoles, rep versus retail. Looking at these, it looks like they've got it down pretty good. You can see that the colors are slightly different, but they're very, very close. So in person, I can just see a little differences between the retail one and the rep one. As far as thickness, they feel the same. The backs of the insoles look like this. So this is the rep pair, this is the retail pair. They did get a similar type of lining on the rep pair, but you can see that the color is different. The retail pair, it's a little lighter blue. The rep pair is a little darker blue. And you can see the glue streaks more on the retail pair for the most part, except for here. And that is rep, retail. I do have right shoes also, which I'll show you, and I'll show you the box. But one way you usually can tell reps versus retail is the way this part of the toe box is cut. This one is done really well, but if you take a look at it, you can tell that this is just a little bit wider than that. Before we get out the right shoes and check out those, I figure we ought to take a look at the box. So rep box is left, retail box is right. And if you notice, this might be the first time I have a retail box that is more damaged than the rep box. So almost every corner of this retail box was ripped, which I was alerted to on the trade. But since I was going to wear these, it was okay. This rep box is maybe only partially ripped right here. So looking at these boxes, The rep box to the left, the Nike, is a little lighter in color, a little more. They're both about, well, the left one is flat, the right one is more of an eggshell, so it has a slight sheen to it. Other than that, the font looks like they have it the same. They have the trademarks and everything the same, so that looks good. In person, the color of the boxes looks really, really close. So the olive green, lighter on here, darker on here. The tan color, it looks lighter on here and darker on here, which I think you'll be able to see in the video. The tag on here, though, I was looking at it when they arrived, and I was like, wow, this might be one of the better rep tags I've seen. This retail box on top. The USA in 13 is bold. It is bold on the rep box as well. It's a little more bold and a little shinier on the retail box. The Euros look the same between the two. UK and whatnot look the same. The QR code looks different, which I'm sure they make those. Let me see. The DZ4137106, the style number, it looks like it's spaced out right. It's a little more crisp on the retail box than on the rep box. And it looks like the SKU is correct as well. So if you scan this in the store, it would probably come up. All right, that is the retail. I could see the RFID. You might see it a little bit under there. This is the rep. I do not see RFID under there, but maybe you can. All right. Bottom of the boxes. Both of them have a sticker. They both say the same things. They look pretty close in person. There's not a whole lot to point out about that. Only thing I see on the rep box is that there's a 12 written there. Inside the box lid, the retail does have a stamp. The replica pair does not have a stamp. All right, let's take a look inside the box. Rep pairs to the left has the seller info in here. Looking at them, the color of the pink is different. So in the rep pair, the paper is lighter pink, whereas it's darker pink in the retail pair. If you flip it back, the retail pair is white on the inside, whereas on the rep, it's kind of a lighter white, but it's more translucent than it's supposed to be. So we can open that up. Then there's white paper in the retail pair. This is my trade block certification that this pair passed authentication with them. And it's also been through GOAT, and I also put them through one of the legit check apps and checked everything I know how to check to make sure they were legit. The white paper feels similar in the two boxes, so this is the white paper. It feels similar. The rep pair is not as wrinkled. So if you take a look at the numbers right there, right here, and right here, they are exactly the same. I will zoom in for you. This is the numbers of the retail pair, and you see the sticker there. This is the numbers on the rep pair, and you see that they are the same. And the sticker is over here on the rest to your left. Retail is to your right. Looks like they did pretty good with the Wings logo. It's a little sloppier around the basketball on the Jordan on the Wings logo, but that is how it's designed. Also, these portions are a little closer on the rep than the retail pair, and you can tell the stitching is different, the thread that's used in the rep pair versus the retail pair. So rep to the right, retail to the left. You can tell the thread. Soles look good. All right, these are the back tabs. Retail pair to the right, rep to the left. You can see that crease under the smiley face on the pair to the right, which means it was tried on, which I'm surprised Trade Block didn't catch, but it is what it is. What is surprising here is that the face to the left on the rep pair, which is this one. It looks rounder than the face on the retail pair, which I always thought they were supposed to be perfectly round to fit inside of a dime, but maybe they've switched things up. Right and left insoles are different, so here you go. The right insoles on the retail right, rep left. They do look spot on and close. Earlier we talked about the tongue tag, so the rep is to your left, the retail is to your right. So this tongue tag is placed correctly, almost exact to the other one. You can see the green on the Cactus Jack in the video more so than I can see it in person. In person, it almost looks a little bit black when I glance away from the phone. It is a little bit more difficult to notice, but the rep left, retail right, the star pattern is just a little bit different. On the retail pair, they are a little tighter grouped together, and there's a little bit more space between them on the rep pair, but it's very difficult to see unless you have the two pairs together. Other than that, you can see they look the same. They do pass the squeeze test, and I will show you that in just a second. Reps are left, retails are right, which you can tell by the lighter swoosh is the rep. So let's squeeze the sole tight, same as the retail, so there is no squishy sole on those. I almost forgot to do the black light test before I sprayed the mink oil stuff I was talking about. So to the left, you have the replica pair of Travis Scott's. To the right, you have the retail pair of Travis Scott's. And from what my eyes tell me, they look like they glow the same colors. Midsole glows the same colors. Toe box glows the same colors. So a black light would not show you much there. Looking inside the shoes, tags reflective, don't see no markings or anything around it, which I'd imagine after so many videos showing that, they've gotten rid of that stuff. This is the retail pair. You can see a few specks of glue, but much cleaner than you usually find any retail pair. Here's the other retail shoe. And here is the other rep shoe. So I don't feel like the black light shows us anything, and I don't see any markings on the boxes. The labels show up about the same. So there's your black light. All right, I sprayed the shoes with the mink oil. Reps on the left, retail on the right. It looks like the green did get a little darker on that swoosh. So that's just the rep pair on the bottom. Retail is on the top. It's still a little bit lighter, so maybe I'll spray it with the mink oil a few more times and see if it darkens up, but it definitely helped. I sprayed the replica pair with the mink oil. Looking at these, you can now see that the two swooshes are very similar and very close in color. Can you tell which one is the rep and which one is the real shoe? I'll give you some time to think about that. So what I did is I had mink oil, and I read that if you spray the swoosh, the colors get to be the same. I sprayed it 2 or 3 times, let it dry, then sprayed it another 2 or 3 times and let it dry. And then when it sat overnight, once it dried, it made the material on the replica swoosh look a lot more dead like it is on the retail pair, and it also darkened up the green to where it matches with the retail pair. So if you guessed that this one is the rep, you would be incorrect. This is the retail pair to the right, and this is the replica pair to the left. Rep tag left, retail right. If you look at the BR, the CN, and the made in China, you can see how the font is bolder and where the tags are different. The production dates are different. That could vary from pair to pair though. Last thing, look at the lace holes. They are uneven on the rep pair where they are straight on the retail pair. Here is a final look. Reps, retail, all of them. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.